Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Molly and I do book content here on YouTube. I do a mixture of Christian as well as non-Christian. So you look forward to lots of different genres and Christian themes and no religious themes at all. Usually anyway. So I'm here today to do the long-awaited September TBR. And I say TBR, technically it's more of another pile of possibilities. I am taking part in a few readathons. One of them is actually 3 months long, and I'll talk about that. But then obviously other ones, the other two are quite big. In terms of prompts, and technically you can double up on one of them, but not really. If you want to win, basically, you have to do individually, but otherwise you don't have to. There may also be a giveaway, but I could be getting that one confused, so don't listen to me on that one. But I'll talk about that readathon afterwards. And then the other ones I think you can definitely double up on. So let's get into it, because I have a lot of books to show you, not really talk about, because that's more of, what I've read. So what I'm going to do is, I'm thinking I will start with my yearly challenges, because they're the more non-negotiable parts of my book reading, I guess. Sorry, trying to think what words are. Apparently I don't know how to do that despite being an avid reader, but there we go. So I'm just going to start from, what I'll do is I'll start from the first yearly challenge that I have written down, and then we'll go from there. So the first yearly challenge that I'm taking part in is the Cozy Reading Challenge by Teresa from Creatively Faithful. And this month I am doing cozy slippers, and I must confess I forgot to double check what to do for cozy slippers. I'm assuming because of the name it's something cozy and easy to read, that you can just slip into, because slippers. But I could be wrong. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and remember this and watch her video, Teresa's video, when she first talked about this yearly challenge, and I'll see what she says, and I'll write down what she says, and if it is a book prompt, I'll tell you what book I'm going to use. Hopefully I can use one of the ones I'm already looking to read. Hopefully. Maybe. But otherwise I will find something. Preferably something short. So yeah, got that one. So the next yearly challenge is the Princess Bride-athon by Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails, and I actually only have 2 prompts left, and that is MLT, Second Chance Romance, and Ruse, which is Rodents of Unusual Size, and that is a book over 500 pages. And the one I'm more likely to do is the over 500, because I'm struggling with Second Chance Romance. I don't know, out of the ones I have, I don't know what is Second Chance Romance, and I don't have any that I'm aware of that I know for definite are. So if any of you watching know any of the books that I've talked about, and you know they're Second Chance Romance, let me know. Otherwise, just give me your recommendations. For romance, I do prefer clean. Christian will be a plus, but it doesn't have to be. So just let me know if for any Second Chance Romance recommendations, because then I'll have finished it. Wow. So for the prompts that I'm planning to do, I am planning to do 500 pages or more, and the book that I am going to do, to no one's surprise if you have seen any of my other videos, but I'm going to use The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, because It is already, what is it, the 26th, 27th of August? Yeah, 26th of August. And this is ginormous. And I still have one more book that I actually need to get to. Which I'm thinking I might have to end up carrying over as well, but I'm not sure. That just depends on how much time I have to read what I've already got on the go, as well as reading that book, the other book. So I'm continuing this on into September, and I'm going to use it for that prompt. I was probably going to try and fulfill that prompt this month, but obviously because I haven't got to it, I'm just going to carry it over. So I'm going to use this, Ballad of the Songbird of Snakes. And for anyone who doesn't know, which I'm sure there isn't that many, if any of you, this is the first prequel that Suzanne Collins did for the Hunger Games trilogy. This is about President Snow before he becomes president. And this is about the games that he was involved in, I guess is how you say it. Okay, so that's that one. The next yearly challenge is the Journey Through Time challenge by Alma from Alma's Book Journey, and she's got 2 sections. She's got centuries and decades. I am doing both. You can pick and choose how you do it, whether you want to do one or both, whether you do published or set, and you can also mix and match within that as well if you need to. Or at least from what I remember. So for this month in September, for the centuries, we are in the 13th century, which is the 1200s. And where's my Kindle? So what I'm reading for that is Must Love Chainmail, which is a time travel romance. This is by Angela Qualls. I don't know how you pronounce her name, but it's Quarles. I don't know much about it. I just know that this is in a series. This is technically book 2, but I don't know book 1, and I don't know if it's set in the same time, so I'm just sticking with book 2. And because it's a romance, I'm going to assume it's not actually connected, and if it is, it's only about who ends up with who in the first book, which, you know, we usually know with romance, so I'm not fussed with that one. I don't know too much about this, but I know that the girl is in what I assume some sort of our modern day. I think this is about nearly 10 years old, I think. I could be wrong from when it was published. So you know, kind of modern day, give or take 10 years. But she somehow travels back in time to the 13th century. And as I said about the fact that it's a romance, she falls in love probably with one of the knights, judging by the cover. So yeah. So yeah, that's my centuries one. For the decades for September, we are doing the 1990s, and this is, I'm doing published in these decades, so published in the 1990s. I thought I was going to have a hard time finding anything, but I found one. And I'm so pleased, because it means I don't have to go looking on my Kindle. I don't have to buy anything because I've already bought it. So that is Gabriel Garcia Marquez's Strange Pilgrims. This is a short story collection, and this is actually apparently published in the 1990s. So it says originally published in Spanish in 1992 and then 1993 in Great Britain, which is where I live. So that is fantastic. That was really easy to find, so I'm really glad about that. It's also really short. This is a short story collection, and it has themes of displacement and exile, has love, loneliness, death, and memories of the past. So yeah, it's only 12 stories, and I'll probably do what I did the other month with the Night Shift short story collection by Stephen King. I will probably try and read about one a day, and there's only 12, so that should be a quick read for me, so that's good. So yeah, that's Alma's challenge done. The next yearly challenge is the Read Your Bookshelf challenge by Chantel. Now, this is the one I alluded to earlier. So there is a book for Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf challenge for this month in August that I haven't got to yet. I didn't get to it yet, and that is Secrets in the Mist by Morgan L. Bushy. This is the Skyworld Chronicles, I think. Oh no, the Skyworld book 1. It doesn't technically go with a prompt for this month, which is space, but it kind of does if you stretch it, because they're flying in the sky, so I'm imagining quite a lot of space in that respect. So that's where I'm going with that one. But that's this month, that's August, and I've not even started it. So I'm hoping to start this next once I finish the book I'm currently reading. But depending on how much time I have to read and other things, I don't know if I'll finish this in time before September. So just in case, I am carrying this forward into September. But if I find that I do end up finishing it before we start September, then that's fine. I don't need to do that. But just in case, I'm just adding this on as a... yeah. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but there we go. Anyway, so for September, Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge is travel. So the one that I have chosen to go with is actually the sequel to Secrets in the Mist, and that is Blood Secrets by Morgan L. Bushy, because the first one has sky travel. I'm assuming this one will also still have sky travel, so I'm going with this one. It's also reasonably short as well, just like the first one, so I'm hoping to go for this one. Otherwise, I didn't really think anything else of it. I just saw this and thought, this will do. I'm all about doing things easily, and it's a short book, which for a slow reader is what I need. Certainly with the TBR I have for this month. Okay, so the next yearly challenge is Read Christian Romance. This is by Ursina from Ursina Got a Readathon. And this one I will probably be doing fall season. September is technically part of fall, but not quite what I would imagine for this particular book, but it counts, so I'm going to use it. And I'm going for All My Secrets by Lynn Austin. Just quickly, for those who don't know, Blood Secrets and Secrets in the Mist are both Christian fiction. I think they're Christian fantasy, just for anyone who doesn't know. Anyway, so for September, for Ursina's challenge that I'm doing is fall cover, and I'm doing All My Secrets, because I would say this is giving me very much fall vibes with all the orangey, mustardy sort of tones, and the older lady's outfit is very autumnal looking. I love the blue of hers. So yeah, this is a historical Christian fiction. I think, yeah, it's just one timeline. This is set in 1898 in New York. And I want to read this mainly because I want to read a Christmas book, which does not match this, which annoys me, but that's fine. By Lynn Austin. It's basically technically a sequel. And I was told that I probably should read the first one before reading that one. So that's what I want to do for this one. So this is kind of more of a priority as well for that. But I mean, I could still read it any other time, but this is priority because it's part of my yearly challenges. So yeah, I don't know if it's good. I've not tried Lynn Austin yet, so I'm interested to see what it's like. I can't remember if I said, but this is Christian fiction. And I assume it's a bit of a romance. But I don't know. Okay, so that is Ursina's challenge. The next challenge is Chantel again. This is for her Year of Maud. And again, this is like I have to, a non-negotiable. So for Year of Maud, this is for Ellen Montgomery's books. We have been prioritising the Anne of Green Gables series, and then we've had a few months where we've had other Ellen Montgomery books that aren't unrelated necessarily. So this month in September we are back with Anne, and we are with Anne of Ingleside this month. I love this one. It's very pretty. So yeah, this is yeah, this is basically quite a bit in the future now. Anne has 5 children and her 6th child on the way. So yeah, that's going to be good. It's quite thick as well. I think this is quite thick compared to her other books in the series. I don't know if it is the thickest, but it's certainly one of the thickest. So yeah, I'm excited to get to this. Yeah. So, right, yeah, that is the last of my yearly challenges. I am now going to talk about my monthly readathons that I am taking part in. So, I'm not hosting any this month. It was only August. And yeah, so there will be some repeat appearances of the books I've already mentioned. Also the ones I put on the side that aren't carried over from this month. Well, actually some of them are technically carried over. But anyway. So the first one I'm going to talk about is, I'll just go by readathon, tell you the books I want to do, and then do it that way. So the first readathon I'm going to talk about is Cryptid Creatures, that Teresa from Sweet Tea Reads is hosting and created, and she also has a co-host called Nala, and her channel is Here There Be Stories. They're both on YouTube. I don't know about any of the socials, and I don't actually follow Nala, but I'm sure she's lovely, so I definitely recommend you try her out. I'll link both of them down below anyway, but I follow Teresa. So Cryptid Creatures, for anyone who doesn't know, these are your mythological creatures that also have real life sightings that may or may not be true. So these are creatures like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, and similar ones. And so this basically has technically two prompts, but I'm sure you can mix and match, I think, and you can only do the prompts if you don't really have or not really interested in the creatures, because you have the option of trying to find books, fiction and non-fiction, about these creatures, or like a collection of them, or you can read the prompts. I don't really have anything. There may be books that I'll get for the Cryptid Creatures about them. There's definitely a non-fiction collection of them where it talks about a load of them, and not all of the ones on this list, but several. So that definitely sounds interesting, and they all sound interesting. There's lots of different ones, but I'm not sure if I'll get to them because my TBR is already ginormous. So yeah. So there we go. So I won't talk about the books about the cryptids because I don't have any, and I don't know any off the top of my head to actually tell you and show you, quote unquote show you, because I don't have them. But I can tell you about the prompts that I'm going to try and do. So I'm going to try and do as many as I can. I think there is a way where I can do a bingo, if possible, at least one, for like one row or something. I'm not sure which one. I think it's the across one. But there's multiple prompts that I can do if I get to them. So we'll just see. So the first one is Bigfoot, and this is a book over 400 pages. And I actually have a couple, now that I think about it, that fit this prompt. So I'm going to go with the first one that I've already talked about, and that is Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because this is ginormous. This is over 500. Yeah, it's 517? Yeah, 517 pages. So this definitely counts. So I might use that one. There's also the book that I have been trying to get to for months. I have been really struggling getting to this book, not because I'm necessarily not interested, but it is more about the fact that I just haven't got around to it. There have been other books that I've prioritised. There's been, just things in the way. So this book that I'm going to show you is 430 pages, and that is the Wartime Book Club by Kate Thompson. I really want to get to this, not necessarily because I'm excited to read it, although I've never tried it, so I don't have any sort of dislike. It's just I've never really tried a proper historical World War II fiction. This is where this is set, and yeah, I've kind of read World War II settings, but it's not really been about the wars. So one of them, you may have heard me mention, is The Prince of Mist. That's taken place during the World War II, but it's YA, and it's only focusing on a young boy, so it's not, you don't really get the wars, so it doesn't really count. But this one is my first proper one, and I need to get to this because this is someone from my church's book that she lent me, so I really need to get to this. I just haven't got round to it, so I really want to use this. This is like my soft priority, but we'll see. And there is actually a third one that I'm not going to talk about. Actually, there's probably, I have loads, okay. I don't know why I seem to be picking really big books, but those are the two that I'm particularly thinking about because they're particularly prioritised. So the next one is Loch Ness Monster. This is a book with water on the cover, and for any of you who've already just seen me talk about it, obviously the Wartime Book Club, because there is the sea. So I'm counting that for that one. Then we have a whole book with flight, and I have a few options for that. So I have one or both of the Skyward duology, Blood Secrets or Secrets in the Mist, because they both have air travel in them with the blimps, or whatever you want to call them. So we've got that one. We do technically have Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets, with the flying car, and obviously, you know, broomsticks. And then we also have Fourth Wing, Dragons, and about dragon riding, so that technically counts as flight as well. So again, I have multiple options that I could pick. Jackalope, read a historical fiction. So again, I could read a Wartime Book Club for that. I also have All My Secrets by Lynn Austin. This is also historical, so I could use that one. Yeah, just those really. Kraken, book with pirates. So, again, from what I have heard, Blood Secrets, Secrets in the Mist have pirates, so I will use that one. None of the others that I'm aware of have pirates that I have on my list. Mothman, read a dystopian book. And I'm sure you're not surprised. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. There may be others that are dystopian. The Blood Secrets duology, I don't know if you would count that as dystopian or whether you would just count that as a fantasy world. I'm not sure. Because I think it's a fantasy book, I'm going to assume that it's that. So yeah, probably just the Hunger Games book. Chupacabra, read a multi-pov book. Now this, I haven't checked. However, I'm going off on a limb and going to make assumptions about the types of books that I have read before. I'm going to assume All My Secrets might have dual POV. I don't actually know if it is. From what I can see of the blurb, I'm not getting 2 POV vibes from it, but that doesn't mean there isn't. I just haven't noticed. Oh, hang on. Okay, on chapter 11 it says Adelaide. Let's have a look. Juliet. Okay, yeah, this does have multiple POVs, so I'll use this for that one. Brilliant. That saves me worrying. Where are we? Okay. The next prompt is Mokele Bembe. Sorry, I can't pronounce it. I'll write it down below for you. This is a book with I can't talk. A book with dinosaurs or dragons. And, well, I don't actually have any dinosaur books that I'm aware of, but I do have dragons. This is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This is a YA, is it? I don't know. It's a fantasy. And it has dragons on the cover. And also it's about dragons because it's about dragon riding, I think, in the school. Oh, 20. I thought I said 12-year-old then. I was like, you what? No, it says 20. It's 20. It's okay. So yeah, I'm going to use this for that one. I don't have any other dinosaurs, so. Okay, the next prompt is Thunderbird, and this is a book based around weather. Now, this one is a hard one for me. I don't necessarily have anything that I know of. The nearest that I could possibly go for is probably Blood Secrets because of the air travel. Because obviously, weather affects air travel. So I was thinking maybe this, and actually also the Wartime Book Club could possibly be the same if they count in that respect, mainly because of the planes. I don't actually know if the planes actually have any sort of stuff in the book. I don't know if there's anything to do with air travel in it, but I'm just going by the cover and the fact that it's World War II. Yeah, then the only other possibility is Harry Potter, because there is weather in this. You usually go through a year of school, so you'll get, your winter and Christmas stuff. And, I don't know, maybe, but I don't know. This one I'm not too sure about for that. So, yeah. The next prompt is Mongolian Death Worm. And this is a book with a desert setting. Again, I don't particularly have anything that I'm aware of. You could possibly, because I've seen the film, you could possibly use Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because there is a sort of, it's not really a desert, but during the games there's kind of like, there's not much wildlife, it's pretty dusty. So that's kind of desert related, sort of. I don't really think it really counts though. But this could be a possibility for that, I'm not sure. I don't think I really have anything for desert setting. The nearest would be a non-fiction that I'm reading, and that is Emperor of Rome by Mary Beard, because obviously this is Rome, so there's desert areas. So this could count, but I'm not necessarily expecting to finish it, so yeah. The next one is Groot Slang, and this is read a book that has hybrid genres. So most of my books I could do for that one. What could I do? I don't know. There's all sorts. I could do All My Secrets, because this will be historical and romance. That's 2 genres. The same with Fourth Wing. I think this is a romantasy, so you've got your fantasy and your romance with that one. Yeah, I have a few possibilities for that one, so I guess we'll see what books I get to. Right, where are we? How to go? Okay, the next prompt is Rougarou, and this is a book with an animal on the cover. Now, I have realised I've got a few options for this now. So initially, I was thinking, I could use the Spell Shop, even though it's technically not a normal animal, it is a fantasy animal, because on here there is a cat with wings, and I know other people who've talked about this have mentioned this cat with wings, so technically it does count as an animal. But I'm not sure, because it's a cat with wings, it's a fantastical, more mythological animal. I don't actually know if those count. So, the other option I was thinking of is Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Again, because you've got your songbird and a snake. So, we've got definitely one option, possibly 2 if the unrealistic cat counts. I'm not sure. The next one is Bloop, a book with noise. I can't remember how Teresa mentioned about this one, so I don't actually remember. What I'm thinking I might go for is probably the Wartime Book Club, because it's war and you do have the planes there, and I'm assuming they're not your normal passenger planes. So I'm probably going to go for this one because of that. Otherwise, I don't really know. I guess you could say Songbirds and Snakes because of the songbird, but I don't know. Those two are possibilities. The next prompt is Jersey Devil, and this is a book with a family dynamic, and I'm sure there's lots of different ones for that one. I could possibly use Queen Buns and Crime by Robin Stevens, because there's definitely at the very least found family, as well as sometimes one of the main girls' family members do crop up, so it's very possible we could do that. But because it's dynamic, I don't know how much of that will be in this book, because one of the books did have quite a bit with her family in it, but that's not necessarily this book. So what I have been thinking is doing is All My Secrets by Lynn Austin, because this from the blurb there's a lot to do with the main girl or woman, along with her mum, her grandmother, I think, or mother-in-laws. There's wives and daughters, so there's a lot of family dynamics from the sounds of it, and also there's a character looking for a husband. So I think this is my best bet for family dynamic, just from that. Otherwise, I have just realised I could also use Anne of Ingleside by Ellen Montgomery, because obviously you can even tell by the cover, definitely family dynamics in this. So I do technically have a couple of options I could use, which is cool. Okay, the second to last prompt is Yeti, book with a cold setting. Now, this one is difficult. This one is more going to have to be maybe not doing, or I might be able to get away with it depending on what the situation is. So this has different crimes in it. This is like I guess you could say it's a short story collection. I don't actually know. But this basically is a book that has untold stories and mysteries. So there could be some that take place during the winter and or in a cold place. So this could possibly be cold setting, but I don't think so. But my best option for the cold setting is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, because this takes place obviously over a school year, so you will have your winter parts of this book, I would assume. So this one is probably my best bet for that one. Okay, and the last prompt is Bunyip, and this is a book set near a swamp, bog, or marsh. Now, this one I don't know. I don't think I actually have anything. The nearest one again is Harry Potter, just because of Harry Potter. I don't really know why. It's a possibility. I don't actually know, or I don't actually think there is any, but it's possible. Other than that, I don't think there's any others that I could use, so I don't think I'll be able to fulfill that prompt. Also, I forgot to mention, I apologise if you can hear my fan. We've had a couple of very, very hot days for us in England. So, yeah, I've got my fan on. So I apologise if you can hear it. You should still be able to hear me. It's not very loud, I don't think. And the microphone on my phone is pointing this way. So, hopefully that should reduce the noise, because my fan is on this side. I'm sure you gathered that from the directions I was talking about. It's actually a lovely day right now as well. The clouds look lovely. Anyway, distractions. So, that is my first monthly readathon prompt done and talked about. Let's move on to my next one. So the next one is the one that I said is from during several months. Well, I say several, it's 3. And this is the Autumn Reading Bingo. This is being done by Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day. And this is a bingo board that's taking place during September, October and November. And you have your 9 prompts. So it's your normal, typical bingo board. And again, they're reasonably loose and vague, so you can, a lot of the time you can kind of bend it a little bit, and I'll tell you why. So I'll go through each of the prompts and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking of doing. So the first prompt is read a short story. So it doesn't have to be a short story collection. It could just be one story in a short story collection. Or read a book under 200 pages. The next prompt is baking. The next prompt is orange on the cover. Then we have warm beverage. Then trees or leaves. Creepy. Then there's cozy. Fire or rain. And then atmospheric. So as you can tell, they're all pretty much, all of them are very vague. So things like the baking, it could be something in the title, it could be the topic, it could be on the cover. So I was thinking for a couple of them, I was thinking maybe like a cozy mystery. I've been really wanting to get into those, and I just haven't yet, so I could definitely use that for that. So there's 9 prompts and it all takes place over 3 months. So I was thinking of doing 3 prompts for each month. Because then that would mean I complete all 9 and I don't have to worry about, I don't know what. Anyway, the thing is though, I'm not sure which ones to do. Initially, I wanted to do them all in order. But then I was like, now that I've talked about reading cozy mysteries, I really want to read a cozy mystery. So I'm thinking I might not necessarily do them in order. I was initially thinking of doing the short story one, baking, and then orange on the cover. However, the baking, I'm having second thoughts. So let's go with the ones I have picked out already. So we've got, for the first one, a short story or a book under 200 pages. And I was thinking of going for Gabriel Garcia Marquez's Strange Pilgrims, because this is just under 200 pages. It's 188 pages. So I was thinking of going for that, or I would read one of my short stories in my Brothers Grimm collection that I've got, because I still haven't continued since last month in July when I was reading through them. I basically got to the end of July and I was like, right, not reading it. I'm like, but I want to read it. But I was like, well, I haven't chosen to do one a day forcefully, so I'm not doing it. I'm like, oh, fine. So we'll see. I've got a couple of options for that one. Initially, I was thinking of doing baking, and I was thinking of doing Cream Buns and Crime by Robin Stevens, because you can bake cream buns. I don't think there's any actual baking in this though, so I don't think this really counts. But there is some, cakes on there. You got a piece of cake there, or what I assume is a cream bun there. So it does technically count, and it is a children's mystery book, so it does technically count as cozy because it's not very thrilling. So I don't know. I do want to get back into the series. This, by the way, is it's not really part of the original series, but it's like a companion to it, because this has different cases that these 2 girls have done. So this is from, in fact, let's actually talk about what this book is. So this is from the Murder Most Unladylike series. This is a collection of books, well, not books, but of untold stories and cases that Hazel and Daisy, who are the main 2 characters, have been solving and doing. So this is different cases. Oh, actually, it does have recipes as well as puzzles, facts, and tips. It has recipes. That counts. Baking. Okay. I still kind of want to do a cozy mystery though. To be fair, with the prompts, I could still do cozy mystery. But yeah, this is my option for baking. And then the third and final one that I'm going to do is orange on the cover. And I was thinking of using, where are you? I was thinking of using All My Secrets because it's very orange toned. I don't know if all of these are really a true orange. They're kind of mustardy as well. But I think that still counts as orange, just a different shade. So I'm counting it. Because it is very autumnal looking anyway. So, yeah. So I'm thinking of using this for that one. So those are the 3 prompts that I'm planning to do for this month. Could it change? Yes. But I don't think so. Okay, so the last readathon that I'm taking part in is, drumroll, the Back to Hogwarts readathon that Cheryl from Candlewick Library did last year. This is year 2 because it's the 2nd year. She did it last year, and you don't have to have done last year's one, but I think she said you can do last year's. I don't remember, but I'll leave her announcement down below and you can watch that, and you can find out because I can't remember now. So Cheryl is doing this with, I think they're all the same co-hosts, I think, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong. But I'll tell you her co-hosts anyway. So her co-hosts are Lucy from the Lucy Chronicles, Kristi from Kristi A. Cole, and Alma from Alma's Book Journey. And all 4 of them are representing all 4 of the different houses, so they're each representing different ones. I can't remember which ones all of them are doing, but I remember which ones Cheryl and Lucy are doing, because Cheryl said she's doing Slytherin, I think, and Lucy is doing Ravenclaw, which is the house that I'm a part of, so that's why I remember Lucy's. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take part in this. Now, there's a lot of prompts, and what she said is, there's sort of like points you can get, and if you basically do all of these prompts, 1 book for each prompt, which is a lot of books. I think it's 15 or 14. Yeah, 15 books technically, or it could be 14. There is an extra prompt, which I'll talk about. But you don't necessarily have to do that if you're not bothered about that. You can just do a few of them and just do it that way, or you can double up on prompts. It's just you won't get the full thing. I can't remember what she said the thing was, but the video should explain it, I think. So I am going to do something that I will regret because I'm a slow reader. I'm going to try and do all 15 prompts. However, there are books I can double up on if I need to, if I'm finding that I'm not really getting through them, which is very possible. So I will talk about the ones that I'm going to do. Yeah. Okay, so the first prompt is astronomy, and this is to read a sci-fi book or a book about space, or it can have stars on the cover or in the title. So I don't really have any sci-fi, or books about space, in fact. So I was thinking of, right, so, I forgot that for this first prompt, the stars, I picked a book that I have now since realised that I was going to read this month. So we'll see. I might have to change my answer. Well, not my answer, but my book for this prompt. So the book I was originally going to go for was Secrets in the Mist by Morgan L. Bussey, because this does have stars on the cover. I don't know if you can really see it. Kind of see it there, maybe up there. You can see it better in person, but there are things on it that look like stars. So I'm going to use this one. However, if I do end up getting to that book before September, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Because the second book, I've had a look, I can't really see any stars on it. Yeah, like I can't see any stars on it, so I can't really use that one. Which is a shame. So, yeah, we'll have to see about that one. Oh, wait, no. Brilliant. I can double up on other readathons. I can use, however, after looking at my covers, I can use Must Love Chainmail by Angela Quells, because there are stars on the heart. I don't know if you can really see that. Oh yeah, you sure can. There's stars on there, so brilliant. I'm okay. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I can do stars on the cover for that one. The second one is Charms, and that is a charming character, so the book has to have a charming character, or the book has to have a cover that has charmed you. So there's quite a few covers that charmed me. The main one, I would say, is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, because that is such a charming cover. I love that, and I've been meaning to read this for ages. So that's definitely an option. But, I mean, I could also use Anna of Ingleside, because that's just so wholesome and charming. You know, family life sort of thing. So I do have a couple of options for that one. I could also possibly go for Queen Buns and Crime by Robin Stevens for characters, because they're charming characters, the two girls. They're really sweet. I love their dynamics, and it's a very realistic friendship as well. I find, certainly with the books I've read so far, I've not finished the actual series, but yeah, it seems to fulfill that prompt as well. So I have a couple of options depending on what I get to. The next one is Defense Against the Dark Arts, and this is a book that has training for war, good versus evil, or spiritual warfare. So I have a few options I could probably do for that one. There could be War in Blood Secrets, so I could go for that one. We also have our Good versus Evil in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The same, of course, with the Wartime Book Club. I could use this because, again, this has war in it. Good versus Evil, kind of. So I could go for that one. This is the main one I was thinking for that one, but I do have those other options. Fourth Wing, because they are training to be in a war, so that does count. So I have a few options for that one. Herbology is the next prompt, and that is to have plants on the cover or in the title. So yeah, there's only really one that properly fulfills this prompt that I want to go for, but I do have other options depending on what I can get to. Got Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets, because there's like grass and fields and stuff. We've also got Anne of Ingleside, again there's a hill with grass. The main one that I was thinking of though is The Spell Shop, because of that cover, which I just want to say again how beautiful this cover is. I just want to keep saying it. I will keep saying it if I keep bringing this up, because it's gorgeous. So yeah, I've got those. The next prompt is History of Magic, and that is historical fiction. And again, I have more than one prompt for that one. So I'd have the Wartime Book Club, historical, because this is set in 1943. And then, of course, I also have All My Secrets by Lynn Austen, set in 1898. So, again, lots of options there. Okay, the next prompt is Potions, and that is a collection of essays, poems, or short stories. And the one I was planning on using for that one was initially The Brothers Grimm, and I was like, well, I'm never going to finish that. And then, when I found out about Strange Pilgrims being published in the 90s, I was like, well, there you go, that shows the the problem with the short story stuff, because I can use this for short story collection. So I've got that one. The next prompt is transfiguration, and this one has to have a transformation that takes place. So one thing that turns into another, like animagus's, or whatever, or it can be a translated book. So I have a couple of options for that one. I could use Chamber of Secrets if there is a transformation of animals. I know for definite there is one in Prisoner of Azkaban, obviously, as we all know, who any of us who've at least seen the films, even if we've not read the books. The third one definitely has that because of Remus Lupin and Sirius Black. But I know Professor McGonagall can also change herself into a cat. So that is what I'm basing this Chamber of Secrets on. I don't know if she does in the book, but it's a possibility. So I'm using that as a possible literal animagus transfiguration stuff. But otherwise, I also still have Gabriel Garcia Marquez's book Strange Pilgrims, because he's a Spanish author and this was originally in Spanish. So yeah, this counts. The next prompt is Ancient Runes, and this is a book with a puzzle or mystery to solve. Now some of these books might have puzzles or mysteries to solve, such as the Spell Shop might have that in. The War book as well, the Wartime Book Club might have that because it's set during the war. I don't know, there might be like a puzzle or mystery to solve there, I don't know. But the main one that I'm going for this one is Cream Buns and Crime by Robin Stevens. The next prompt is arithmancy, which is a weird way of saying arithmancy, but there we go. And that is part of a series or has a number on the title, and I have several for that one. Technically, the Spell Shop is part of a series. I don't know if it's actually a proper series or whether they're just interconnected, but I do know there's a sequel out, so that you could possibly count that if you wanted to. Obviously, we've got Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets. This is book 2 in the series. I've also got Anne of Ingleside because this is book, whichever one it is. This is book 6 in the Anne of Green Gables series. I've also got Queen Buns and Crime, although you might disagree, I don't know, because this technically isn't a part of the actual main series. This is more of a companion. So it's up to you whether you want to count that or not. Then obviously we've got Fourth Wing. Well, not necessarily obvious. This is the first book in a series as well. Then technically you also have All My Secrets because there's a Christmas book sequel type thing. Battle of the Songbirds and Snakes is a prequel to the Hunger Games series. I'm counting that. That could count as well. And then also we also have Blood Secrets because this is not only is part of a duology, it also has the words book 2 on the spine. Oh, and at the bottom of the main cover too. I'm assuming it doesn't matter if it has to be written out in words, the number, or whether it has to be the actual number, like the number 2. I don't know. Let me know, Cheryl, if it has to be. But either way, it doesn't matter because they're still part of the series, so I would still be getting that prompt anyway. Okay. The next prompt is Care of Magical Creatures. A dragon on the cover or in the title. So, does anyone want to say it with me? Fourth Wing. Dragon. So yeah, that is what I will use for that one. I don't think there's any other dragons. No. Yeah, I'm going to assume the cat with wings doesn't count as a dragon. So yeah, it's just Fourth Wing for that one. The next prompt is Divination, a book that you predict to be 5 stars. And obviously predict is in quotations because divination, that's kind of that sort of thing. It's like divining, predicting, all that stuff. So I could say that for any of these books. Any of these books would count. The Spell Shop, fourth ring, and a Ringle side, obviously. Then we've got Queen Buns, Crime, Ballad, Songbirds and Snakes. Basically, any of these books I can use for that one. Because I basically predict them all to be 5 stars unless I'm proved otherwise. Kind of like with crime, you know? You're supposed to be considered innocent until proven guilty. It's like that, except 5 stars. So, the next one is Muggle Studies, and this is to read a non-fiction. And there's no particular type of non-fiction. It doesn't have to be about fantasy or about magic, obviously, or anything like that, or about Harry Potter. It can be about anything. So I have 2 options. One, I don't think I'm going to be able to count, but I'm going to pick it anyway because I've already started it. But there is another one that is very short, so I could possibly go for that one. So the one that I would prefer to do, but I don't think I will actually be able to complete it this month, is Emperor of Rome by Mary Beard. This is a it's a non-fiction about a selection of emperors in Rome. I've already started it. I am on page 122, so I've got quite a lot to go through. If I chose to, I could definitely read this a bit faster, but I don't know if I would still finish it in time. But this one would be my preferred option. However, I do have another non-fiction option, which is considerably shorter, and that is Gods Upgrade My Adventures by John Leach. This is a Christian non-fiction, and it's very short. So I'm hoping to get to that. I don't know what it's like. I know it's about the author, John Leach. I think it's about his life and his experiences. I'm assuming it's about his changes in life through his faith, I assume. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is a good option because it's very short. So yeah, I'm not necessarily in the mood to read that, but I do want to at some point. But it is more likely to get read and finished in this month than Emperors of Rome. So, the next prompt is Flying Lessons, and this is a book that includes some form of air travel. So, again, we have some options. We have, obviously, Fourth Wing, Riding Dragons, that's air travel. We've got Chamber of Secrets, Flying Car and Broomsticks. We've got Blood Secrets because of the blimps over there, that's air travel. I don't know how much would be involved, but it's possible. Technically Ballad, Songbirds and Snakes, because I know in other books of the original trilogy anyway, there's been, they've been in their planes and stuff. So maybe this one, I don't know though. And then this one as well, the Wartime Book Club. Don't know if there'll be actual air travel talked about, but there are, war planes, so it's possible. But my best bet is Blood Secrets or Fourth Wing. Okay, the next prompt, and technically the final prompt, but also technically not, and that is Alchemy, a Gold Book. And that is in quotations because it could mean anything. It could be a gold cover, or it could be, I know Cheryl, she just did her TBR for this readathon, and hers was gold because of the topic, not because it was about gold or about alchemy. It was, I can't remember what she said now, but check out her videos anyway. So, well, as I'm filming this, she just uploaded this on Tuesday the 26th. So it'll be her most recent, if not her second most recent video, I assume, about her TBR for Back to Hogwarts. She mentions that one. So, yeah, gold on the cover. So, obviously, we have Fourth Wing, gold everywhere on that book. I also have this, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because that is gold and shiny. And there's also gold outline on the words. I don't know if you can really tell in the camera, although actually it looks more yellow, but because it's quite shiny, you could definitely go for gold for that one. So this is another option. They're the only ones that actually have gold on them. Technically I could do Emperor of Rome as well, because there is gold on here. Don't know if you can really tell, you've got the writing there. But there's also some sort of gold on the eagle. You can't really tell on camera, but I can see it on here. There's like gold dots or whatever on it. But so there's those options. Otherwise, I do have other options with books. So we'll see. But I already have a big TBR, so yeah. So those are the main prompts. However, there is an extra prompt that you can do, and that is if you want to basically win and be Hermione, basically, because she has a time turner and time travel. So funny enough, that is the prompt. That is Time Turner, and that is a book about time travel. So I technically already have that with Must Love Chainmail, which is a time travel romance. So technically I already have that. That's the only one with time travel that I know of. I don't think there's any other time travel in any of the other books. Unless you want to count the non-fiction. I'm not going to though. I don't think it quite counts. But yeah. So yeah, those are all my books now. I don't think I have any other readathons. Nope, no other readathons. I've talked about all of my books. There are other books that have gold on them that I would like to try and get to, but I'm not counting them because there's no point. I have so many other books, and am I really realistically going to read every single individual book? No. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I will link all of the creators and hosts and co-hosts of all of the readathons and yearly challenges. I will try and remember to link videos maybe if I can. Otherwise, because you'll have their channels, you'll be able to find their videos by clicking on their channel handles. So either way, you'll be able to get to their videos. Yeah, let's have another drink of coffee. So yeah, this is another ginormous TBR and a ginormous video. I apologise. So yeah, the majority of my books are non-Christian. There's not very many in comparison that are Christian. Technically this one, but I might finish it before September. And also technically Anne, but I would class it more as a classic than Christian fiction. There are definitely Christian lifestyles. Certainly the previous book, Anne's House of Dreams, definitely has the most Christian faith in all of these books so far. But I wouldn't necessarily count them as Christian fiction. But otherwise it's literally just that one. Blood Secrets. And then All My Secrets. Oh, that's interesting. Both of my official Christian fiction books have secrets in the title. That's really funny. And they technically have L's in their name, but I'm not really going to count that because that's just strange. So yeah, mostly non-Christian books this month, like most months to be honest. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed seeing my massive pile of possibilities again. I need to stop doing them because it means my videos are like an hour long, and I already do long videos and I have been as concise as I possibly could. So this is concerning. It's just because of the amount of books really. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a lovely day and rest of your week/weekend, because I'll be uploading this on Saturday. I hope you've been enjoying August, and are you slightly terrified that we're going into the back end of the year now, that we're going into autumn or fall and winter? Because I kind of am. I don't know where the time is going. I say this in every single TBR and wrap up because, well, maybe wrap up, certainly TBRs, and because I just can't get my head around it. Time just flies by, and I don't know. I just don't know. So yeah, hope you're all well. Yeah, I hope you're having a lovely time. Let me know, by the way, if you have any prayer requests. I don't actually normally ask this, but if you do, please do let me know. I would like to pray for you, you know, if you want me to. And you can be as vague as you want, or, you know, if you don't want to be vague, but you don't want to put it on my YouTube comments, which is fair enough, you could always private message me. I know we don't have that on YouTube, but I think my Instagram is definitely on my main YouTube channel bio. I don't know if it's actually, I don't think it's in my description boxes, because I don't have like a set thing. So yeah, but yeah, let me know and I will pray for you. God bless, and I hope you all have a lovely rest of your week. Bye.